Is it possible? Could it finally be happening? Will the DC Cinematic Universe finally be fixed? Let's discuss. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario!
Woohoo! Let's go!
All right, the short answer to that is no. So thank you for joining me. That's it for today. No, it's actually there's been a lot of very interesting news coming out of DC lately that we're gonna discuss a whole lot of things. Actually, not that many because it's not that much info. But first, let me give you a quick reminder that you can listen to the podcast in the iHeartRadio app, on iTunes, on SoundCloud, on Google Podcast, on Podcast Addict, everywhere, even on Spotify as Super Dario World Podcast. Find it right there. Yeah, add me on Facebook as Super Dario World. Add me on Instagram as either Super Dario World, which is where I update every single episode I load. Or you can find me as Dario the Show. I almost forgot that. At Dario the Show on Instagram. Any comments, questions, or suggestions? Those are the easiest way for you to find me. I am a little behind on answering stuff, but I always answer. So, whoops. Sorry. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about DC. Now, I've mentioned this before on the podcast. I am a big DC guy. To me, my favorite superhero is Batman, and my favorite supervillain is the Joker. I think those are one feeds out of the other, and the reason one is the best is because they have the other who's the best. They just feed each other. They complement each other really well. And Batman, I like that since he's human, there's always a risk for everything. Like a normal dude could be an actual deadly threat to him. So his stories are usually more compelling. That's always been an issue with Superman, that sometimes he can get boring with the normal stuff. It depends on who's writing him and what the story's about. But he can tend to get a little boring because, they're too powerful. Anyway, so the reason why I wanted to discuss this is because there's two big pieces of news that are coming down from the DC Cinematic, from DC in general. So the first one is that Todd Phillips, who directed the Joker, by the way, the Joker I think it's crossing $1 billion this week and already crossed $1 billion. But the Joker, they're confirming that there's going to be a Joker sequel. However, Todd Phillips, the director, is in negotiations as to whether or not he will be the director. Now, one of the things, I think it'd be stupid not to get Todd Phillips because he's the dude who created the story, right? But the thing that's interesting here is that the thing that's holding the whole thing behind the thing, the holdout right now is Todd Phillips, because Todd Phillips asked for access to the portfolio of other DC characters. So basically he said, yeah, I'll do another Joker movie, but you got to let me either use other characters from the DC universe for the story or make movies for other DC characters. This is where it could get interesting because it could mean that the DC Cinematic Universe is going to become the Todd Phillips DC Cinematic Universe. So it means that they might be taking a step away from the Zack Snyder one and just, let's reboot the whole thing just in this particular one because this one seems to be working and it's dark and it's awesome and it's rated R and it's cool, right? However, there's pros and cons to this. First off, right off the top of my head, what does that mean for the Aquaman movie that's slated out, the Flash movie, the Cyborg movie, and also the upcoming Harley Quinn movie, which, by the way, I still think it's going to be garbage. Birds of Prey, I just read what the movie's going to be about, and it's not exactly what it's going to be about, but the premise for it, and it's basically these girls, they end up teaming up to defeat, I think it was Black Mask. That's it. They team up together for reasons. Yeah. The movie seems stupid. It's going to be so stupid. Anyway, but I already complained about that one before. But anyway, so the thing here is, what happens to all the other projects that they have, right? Because this is I'm not going to say this is the only successful one, because Shazam also made a lot of money. Aquaman made a lot of money. But I think in terms of fan reaction, this has been the one that people consider like this. Yes, this is a masterpiece in the genre, in the superhero genre. I'm not going to say it's the best superhero movie, but it's a masterpiece in itself because it's very different than every other superhero movie out there. The same way that Unbreakable was very different in the superhero genre. So going through the Todd Phillips universe is not a bad idea. Now, it could just be that Todd Phillips wants to just do Joker movies because he already knows the character. He has Joaquin Phoenix already signed up for it. He had an amazing performance. But what does he need? He needs access to other characters, maybe other Batman villains or Batman himself. We did see Bruce Wayne in the movie. However, here's where you enter with a certain age issue. It would have to be a really young Batman with a really old Joker. That could be somewhat of an issue. I think it could be fixed. You just have to lie and pretend that the Joker was a bit younger than he actually was in the movie, or that Bruce Wayne was actually a bit older than he appeared in the movie. Either one, I think, could work. Honestly, it require a bit of, since it wasn't specifically said that they weren't, I think they could work around it. They could find a way to make it work. However, it wouldn't be ideal, right? But it's one of those things that I'm very picky about those things. But it's like, all right, okay, I can let it go. I could pretend that Joaquin Phoenix was in his 30s, even though dude's, I think, in his 50s. But I can pretend. I can pretend a little bit. Anyway, and now that I think about it, Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton, they also had an age disparity. So maybe, it could work. I don't know. But what does this mean for everything else? What does it mean for the Zack Snyder universe? What does it mean for now the Suicide Squad movie that they're making with the director of Guardians of the Galaxy? What does that all mean once you put it into context? It means that the DC universe is on fire. And not in the good way. It is a dumpster fire. They've had successes, but mostly failures. And the biggest failure is that they keep messing up and bringing everything together. They just can't figure it out. The new Batman movie, what the hell is it going to be about? They've casted like 100 villains already. And how will this one fit into the Todd Phillips Joker universe? It's a mess. It's a mess any way you look at it. And honestly, they're going to have to cut off something. Something has to give. Something's got to have to be eliminated. Something's going to have to be rebooted. And I think that the most likely scenario is that they're just going to, call it quits with the Zack Snyder universe. However, that's where something else that I found very interesting takes place. Lately, there's a movement that's gaining a little bit of steam, and it gained extra steam now that Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot have joined the movement. So basically, for not a really long time, but for a long time, people have wanted a release of this. It's called #Release the Snyder Cut, and it's basically the Zack Snyder version of Justice League. Because for those of you who don't remember, director Zack Snyder, he originally started making the movie. Halfway through, his daughter died, and so he left the project to be with his family and to deal with all that stuff. Understandable, completely understandable. And the project was taken over by Joss Whedon. And that's why I said, when you watch the movie, you can clearly see that there's two very different visions from the movie, and they say that it's at times tries to be a little bit more funny. Like Joss Whedon's style, he's a funny dude, and his movies are usually action comedy-ish. He handles comedy well, and so you could tell where Zack Snyder's hand was, and you could tell where Joss Whedon's hand was. Because it's very different. Everybody has a different style. It's like if I started a painting and I don't know, that guy. There's nobody in there. And one of you started a painting, you could tell who did what. And it's not the same thing. It's not the same vision. It honestly, even if it's the same script, it affects it a lot. And usually they change the script a lot because Zack Snyder had a bit more liberties than Joss Whedon did. So everybody right now appears to be on board with releasing the Snyder Cut. Jason Momoa has already mentioned that he's already supported the cause. He did the #Release the Snyder Cut. Ray Fisher, who plays Cyborg, he's already joined the cause. The ones that haven't really talked about it are The Flash, Ezra Miller, because the excuse that I find here is that the dude doesn't really use social media, and Henry Cavill. However, and this is, I found interesting, Henry Cavill has stated that he has not given up the role of Superman. He still wants to be Superman. So, again, what they want right now, the stars of the movie, all of them except The Flash, have mentioned interest in staying in the DC cinematic universe, and they want the Zack Snyder version of the movie to be released. Is this possible? Maybe. It does feel to the rumors that there's actually a Zack Snyder cut out there. And I don't see why DC wouldn't just release, or Warner Brothers wouldn't just release it if it means just making money. I've had this fight for years with people. Batman v Superman, the extended version is actually pretty good. The film, the cinematic version sucked. It sucked. I'll give it to you. But the extended version makes the movie make so much better. It's rated R, makes so much more sense. There's more Doomsday. You actually understand Lex Luthor's plan. There's more Clark Kent. So it is a way, way better film. Again, the extended version is the Zack Snyder cut. So basically they want to do the same thing here. They want to do the Justice League, the extended version, the Zack Snyder version, the one that's probably going to be darker. And so, well, not probably, it will be darker. And I guess in a way what they were trying to do is to keep that universe alive. However, here's the conflict. You're Warner Brothers. On one hand, you have Todd Phillips that not only gained a lot of money. His movie made a lot of money and also critical acclaim. On the other hand, you have the Zack Snyder universe that's been maligned from beginning to end. But it's been somewhat successful. I mean, certain movies have made more money than others, but they've been critiqued to oblivion, all right? The reaction hasn't been that great. So what do? You've already invested a lot in this freaking universe. However, this one looks like it have more potential. Also, and here's the thing that kind of messes everything up, you have Suicide Squad to consider, you have Harley Quinn to consider, and you have the Batman project with Robert Pattinson to consider. What the hell do? I'm telling you, man, it's a dumpster fire. It's a freaking dumpster fire. Now, if this were me, what I'd do is I'd say that, okay, I'm going to release the Zack Snyder cut if it exists, or if not, I'd make it. Honestly, I'd make it because it sounds like the actors are on board. At least five of the 6 Justice League members sound like they're on board with doing it. So I'd either finish or release the Zack Snyder cut and see the reaction from there, right? Because apparently this thing has steam. This movement it's getting momentum. There's Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck, who kind of try to stay as far away from this thing as possible. Ben Affleck is no longer the Batman, and he still wants this cut to be released. So you release it, you see the reaction, and by the same time, hopefully Todd Phillips already has a script. And so if it's good enough, if the fan reaction is enough, you kind of keep that universe alive, and you find a way of making a Todd Phillips do a separate thing. It's the only way it's going to work. Or you pick which one's better. Or if you just release it and people still hate it, well, then you're like, oh, well, that was a special edition thing in honor to close up Zack Snyder's work, close out that universe, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Or you can still say that we're going to make an Aquaman movie to close that out, or another Shazam movie, or something to close out that universe and go with the Todd Phillips one. What I think is most likely to happen is I think they're going to continue with both, and I think they're going to keep contradicting themselves, and I think they're going to keep shooting themselves in the foot. DC needs better control from up top. They need to decide who they want to be, what they want to be. Honestly, I think the Todd Phillips one, if it's rated R, is going to be the most successful one. A rated R Batman movie would be great. A rated R Superman movie would be great. Actually, we've had rated R both of those, and that's Batman v Superman. But rated R superheroes in general, superhero movies are great, and especially because it sounds, from what I've read in an interview with Todd Phillips, he basically wants to make a real movie, but throw a respectable movie, according to Scorsese, and he wants to make like a normal film and just throw superheroes in it, which is a very interesting concept. And basically what he did with the Joker is a man going into insanity. All right, well, how about an alien landing on just the normal world and an alien landing on Earth and surviving, or maybe trying to take it over, or a billionaire whose parents get killed and he kind of starts going crazy, because I don't care what anybody says, Batman's crazy to do what he does. So there's a lot you could do. There's a lot of it you could do, and honestly, I think it'd be a more interesting universe, but I want to see the Snyder Cut. I really want to see the Zack Snyder Cut because you could tell that there's the bones of an actual decent story in there, and something could have been really. I'll tell you what I think Justice League was supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be the Return of Superman. However, I think Superman was going to be the final villain of the movie. You know that fight that they have when Superman returns and he comes, back to, and he just going berserk. I think that was supposed to be the final fight of the movie because the moment that Superman comes back, he kind of just loses it, kills, Wolfenstein? Is Wolfenstein? No, Wolf something. I forget his name. He was a super forgettable villain. I think he just completely destroys that guy, and he keeps going berserk. And so it's now up to the rest of the members of the Justice League to try to stop him and control him and calm him down. I think that's the original intention. However, I think that DC or Time Warner got scared of doing like a dark Superman thing. So I don't know. I don't know. I think based off of Snyder's previous style of work, I think that's how it wanted to go. And based off of the bones I saw in the movie, I think that was the original intent. But who knows? Like I said, the DC universe is really weird right now. Like even the TV one, the CW universe, it's leading up to a great moment, which is Christ on Infinite Earth. Some shows are better than others, okay? Arrow is about to end. It had ups and downs. It's been a great show. It's been a terrible show. First season has been phenomenal. It's one of the best seasons of a TV show, of a superhero TV show. It's also had some pretty bad ones. The Flash, I have certain issues with The Flash. And to me, it's just that he's too powerful to be in situations that are so ridiculous, so they kind of have to make him an idiot. So it's like, how the hell did that guy run away from the Flash? Well, it's because the Flash is kind of an idiot. And however, the guy that they have for the Flash is a great actor. There's certain situations that he's really good with the emotional, heartfelt stuff, and it leads to moments where you're like, holy crap, that's heartbreaking. So Supergirl sucks. There's no other way to say it. And I haven't seen Batwoman yet. I'm waiting to just binge watch the whole thing because I know that if I start week by week, because it's had terrible reviews from the beginning, and I don't mean reviews from critics, I mean reviews from people that I know that first off are geeks, and second off are CW fans, and so who take things seriously. And so what I've heard from most of them is that the show sucks, it's terrible, and now there's rumors that one's going to be canceled. However, it might survive just because it's linked closely enough to Batman that they can't really eliminate it, especially now that Arrow is going to be leaving that universe. It's a mess, all right? Anyway, the Titans show, what the hell does that have to do with anything? How does it link with anybody? You need to get your act together, DC. It's a mess. It's a mess. Bring everything under the same umbrella. You're going to have to cut off a whole bunch of the fat. Cut it out. Get the hell out of there. Now, you have James Gunn, who is a legit director and a proven billion-dollar franchise maker. So, maybe you want to follow his suit. Again, you have too many people making too many universes. You have a Batman trilogy on the way, you have a confirmed Joker sequel on the way, and you have a Suicide Squad movie being directed by James Gunn. There's too many things going in too many different directions. Pick a lane. Just pick a lane and make everything go in that direction because you have control here. Stop hiring people to make things where you're not sure what you're doing. All right? Okay, that's it. I think that's it. Other than, yeah, that's it. I'm good. I'm done. I thought it was going to be an easy one. It sucks because I love those characters, and hopefully the Green Lantern will finally do something cool because so far it's sucked too. Anyway. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. You can find me always at Dario the Show or at Super Dario World. Any comments, questions, suggestions? Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again tomorrow.